Hello? Hello?
Uh, Jay? Jay?
Wh- no. Who are you? Why am I at a desk?
Jay, it's
Why
me.
am I
It's
wearing a
Vilnius.
flyer's hat? Who?
Jay, it's okay.
Wait,
It's okay. Calm down, calm
wait,
down.
where am I? What is seek discomfort? Yeah, my voice is. Oh my god.
Jay, calm down.
Well, at least me and this guy
The
have
evac's
the
coming
same
soon.
body complexion. Thank God. Um, wait, dude, the last thing I remember is making a really banger episode about dating. And I was just about to give some really good advice. I was in like the Bay Area or something.
What are you on about, Jay? Jesus.
D-
When was the
Wait, but
last time you slept?
oh my god, it's 8:30. I haven't done my work yet. How did it get so? Okay, well, so what are we doing?
Today, Jay, we're doing our Valentine's Day special episode. A
Well,
week
this is
after the
perfect.
fact.
Can I can I give my dating advice?
Jay, yes, you're known to be very experienced in this field.
Yeah, I feel like I've been well had a storied past of dating advice. I feel I've been blessed with some important knowledge that I hope perhaps I could share with this random audience I didn't know we had because I just woke up from California.
Wow. I am honored to be in your presence, oh
I
wise
know.
one.
I know. So I call it the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 19-step system. I call it the 19-step system for finding the perfect person and dating in the best way possible. Do you, do you, do you catch my drift, Wellness? Are you
I'm right
are
here. I'm
you
I'm on the catcher's mound. Or is there a catcher's mound? I forget. I haven't played baseball
Nope.
in so long.
Nope. Nope, no catcher's bat.
I got the catcher's mitt. I'm ready for whatever you're chucking, man. Throw it. 90
I
miles an
will
hour, 100
I
miles.
will
I
throw
will.
my
I will
drift at
stop
you.
that ball.
So I'm here to present you with Jay's 19 tips for finding the love of your
Woo.
life. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Throw it.
He sounds sure. Vilnius, tell me, have you ever tutored anyone before?
I think so. Maybe, possibly.
You seem very, very confident about your answer to my
Yes, I have
question.
a.
Now,
I have a perfect memory. I remember everything that I've done.
that is very appealing to the ladies, especially if you hit the all the other 20. Okay. So, Vilnius, you know what will get you a great break into the dating scene?
No, no, I don't, Sir Jay.
I will start my introduction to the 20 steps of Jay's finding advice. Your first step, you're going to want to find quintuplets who suck
Hmm.
and
Okay,
then tutor them.
I
Okay, that's a
see.
great way to enter the dating scene.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right, because you can date
abuse
all
my
five of them
power.
if you really wanted to.
Oh,
All five.
polyamorous.
No, no. Well, it could be, but just no. I mean, like separately. Like all
Ah,
five separately.
okay.
Yeah. That's only step one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know,
And
I think this is a good idea. This one really connecting with me.
yeah, also another little thing. You mentioned polyamorous relationships with aliens. I mean, dude, that is
Dude,
like the bread and
sick.
butter of modern day dating.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You got
And
Tinder, and then you got the alien harem.
yeah. And if you be not a human and meet not a human, that can work in your favor too. All right?
I
Because
might be a
if you
bit
be not a
behind on
human,
that one. I'm sadly human.
But if you meet not a human, then it will work. Very good. Very good. Um,
I see, Mr. Love Guru, sir.
yeah, I know. I mean, that is just no problem, Vilnius. Um, I've also, I've also found, I've also found there are a couple really quick ways to be in love with somebody. One of the best things I've used in the past, and I think a lot of people around the world use, is give them a haircut and then have a child.
Oh, the old bait and switch. Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. There's-
No. Yes, definitely good. Uh, and
Take this to the heart, audience.
yeah, and that strategy would be optimal if you lived in anarchy. Um,
Woo!
um, so I think another big piece of information here is, if you're a sad disappointment, honestly, that really helps your case with the ladies. Um,
Hmm. Okay, okay.
there's a scholar. Um, they call
Hmm.
her the bunny girl. She has taught
Ah.
me some incredibly amazing things. So, did you know that
Pray
you
tell.
did you know that you are statistically more likely to find love if you are physically disappearing from the earth?
Oh,
Statistically.
well, time to cut off my legs.
And statistically, you're more likely to find love if you're accused of being a pedophile.
Not gonna do that one.
Are you sure though? Because that's a pretty. I heard the statistics on that one are very statty.
The statistics,
So
they may
I
not be
just
worth it in this one.
maybe, but I think you're an idiot. So the next the next step of my 20-step plan, um, comes from a classic tale as old as time love story,
Ooh.
which you have to do with all the rest of them, and that's the story where you get hit by a truck and subsequently get married in 10 minutes.
The
um
classic.
the
I've tried this strategy at least 7 times and it's never
well,
failed.
yeah, and it will feel even less when you do it with the rest of the tips I had. um So the next 5 steps are probably the most vital, and the last 5 steps, for that matter. I
Oh,
just kicked my
oh,
chair. Kick chair. Okay. So the first of the final 5 steps that I call the whoo factor,
the who
factor. The
factor.
whoa factor.
The
All
whoa
right.
factor. I'm whoaing right
Oh
over
my
here.
God! Everything is working
I'm
factor.
pogging, bro. I'm not racist. I'm just pogging, just pogging.
You're just pogging. All right. Only date people whose hair color is different from everybody else. So
Always a good idea.
it's absolutely required.
Yeah,
100% required. If you don't find somebody with bright yellow hair, you're gonna be put in the prisons.
yeah. If they don't have bright colored hair, are they human?
Yeah, but sometimes it can be subtle. Like some people have dark brown hair and they just have brown hair. Uh the next one is for the guys out there. Make sure you are tall, strong, and have no emotions.
I have
You need to
failed on
be.
2 of these fronts.
No, you haven't. No, you're fine. I've heard through the grapevine that your volleyball serves are just rockets. Uh,
It's due to my height. I'm the tallest man in the
well,
world,
and your strength, and you are absolutely
and I have
stone
no
faced at all
emotion.
times.
Yeah.
No, no. So you're good. The next step is be Japanese. I think this is
Shit.
no, but if you believe, Phil, you can do anything. The second to last step of my plan is be in high school. If you're not in high school, you're
Oh,
dead to me and dead to
hey,
everybody else.
hey. We got 4 months, Jay.
Yeah, Vilnius, listen. I I have found 4 trillion good relationships already.
Truly. God
And
damn.
you need to, yeah, because I follow my simple
Yeah, yeah.
27,000 step process.
You're really getting
Um,
use out of the alien step.
I'm, yeah, dude, I found so many be not humans, and I be human, though, so it works.
Mm.
The last step is no hug, no kiss.
That ties back into
Yeah.
the no emotion thing.
Well, I'm glad you came to my seminar. Thank you for coming to my seminar. Maybe you weren't completely hopeless, but we don't know that yet.
Thank you, love guru, sir. You have saved me from years of loneliness.
I am
Now,
sure I have.
with come this Valentine's Day, you will be prepared.
Now you know. From
Now you know the Let Me Know podcast.
now, yeah, exactly. Now you've letting know. Now you let it know. We let
Hmm.
it know you the
We let you
things.
know.
We let you know. All right, but we jest.
No.
I Vilnius. I had to tell them it was part of my morally. So obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but from the gods of Crunchyroll themselves, they have bestowed upon us a great level of knowledge about dating. Um, Actually,
Yes, yes.
for this one, we didn't even need to do online research on dating apps and act like we've had girlfriends before because it works every time, every single
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Cartoons are the closest thing to reality.
Yeah, honestly,
It's true. It's
um,
true.
yeah. I mean, reality isn't really a thing, so
Exactly, yeah.
of course, with Love Guru J, there was talking about the immense amount of knowledge he has gained through anime. And yeah, so we put together. Obviously, his advice is flawless, and you can't. It's
Yeah, yeah.
really
You can't go
invaluable.
wrong, yeah. I really do recommend that get hit by a truck strategy. No
I
problems will arise in your life if you
kind of the
get hit by
best
a truck.
one. But yes, let's be realistic. We're here to talk about silly dating patterns in anime and why we think they're funny and why we think they're weird in our takeaways.
This kind of did not happen.
Welcome back to the Let Me Know podcast, the place where we do well, the place where we do the bit and then do the not funny anymore. Okay,
Oh, was the bit funny though? Comment
I
below.
yeah no, tell us right. You know what I was saying last week? How everybody just texts me all the time. I mean, you can just I'll be like, where'd you get that? I don't know, and so you can do that if you want.
Abrupt transition.
We should get back on track. So I guess, well, wait, Phyllis, did we tell them about the whole thing?
Yeah, what we're
Like
doing?
the
Yeah,
whole
we're just
thing?
talking
No,
about
like
rom
the
com.
anime? No, like did we tell them we watch anime, or are we keeping that a secret? Okay.
No,
Did
no,
we?
we've never spoken about anime on this show before, and
All right. I think it's time to have a coming out party.
you know, some of you guys who've been following for a long time, this may be really disappointing to hear. People who were like big fans of the We Are Now Talking About Anime episode,
Oh my
you
god.
know, God, I can't even imagine the pain
Yeah.
they
I
must be
mean,
feeling.
2 weeks is just so too many.
We've definitely talked about anime on the show for more than 2 weeks. I
How
think
many weeks in a row have
36
we
was
talked
your.
about anime?
I think 36 is the episode where you had watched
Oh, that's
Frank's.
Frank's.
So,
36 is Frank's.
meaning this will be
And
10 since then.
holy. Well, 39 apparently we talked about Tonikawa.
And we also talked about Tokyo Godfathers. I remember that from the thumbnail.
What about The Dream is Over? Why did
Oh, that
Tonikawa
one
get
was
why did
devoid
that
of anything. Oh, the year in
I
review
don't
episode got a
remember.
bunch of views, yeah.
So did the Genshin. It got more than the Genshin episode actually.
The Genshin one has a dislike, so I assume people actually came in looking for like a
No, yeah, I
real
remember.
Genshin rant, which is funny.
No, or they just disliked it because they didn't want to see people ranting against Genshin. And then we John at holy, it's just been every episode, hasn't it?
I
I
think the
think we've
Toby
talked
diss
about
track
anime.
was free of it.
Wasn't it? All right. Well, that's 5 episodes and 6 episodes in a row if you include this.
Yeah.
It is hard to believe that I only watched Citrus like 2 weeks ago.
You've been on a
Oh
real
my
anime
god, was
binge.
that 2 weeks ago? That's horrifying. I have been on a
Jay,
real anime
I'm
binge.
kind of glad that you've been on an anime binge because you've gotten
It's
me
been
like
awesome.
your binge has gotten me to start like consuming real media again instead of just watching YouTube and
Hell
like
yeah, dude.
even if some of the stuff isn't great that I'm watching, like it's at least like you know more valuable than just watching another random let's play.
That is true because watching Let's Plays can only get you so far in life if you didn't realize. That's just it is what it is. Um, really, the main reason this conversation that we're sort of having and just mainly not having right now came about is because I have been watching, as we stated, a lot of anime, and Vilnius has too. And about 4 hours ago, I was like, "Hey, Vilnius! Hey, Vilnius! Hey, Vilnius!" Actually, exactly four
Mm-hmm.
hours ago, I called him and I said, "Hey, Vilnius! Hey, Vilnius! Um, how do you find the love in the anime?" And he was like, "Okay." And so that was that was mainly how this came about. Um,
Incredible storytelling. I bow to the god himself.
yeah. So Vilnius, I know you took some interesting notes, and I can go over some of the stuff that Guru Jay was saying, and cite some of his sources, because I think he did a poor job of citing sources, despite being obviously the best love guru around.
My notes are very different from Jay's. Mine were basically, I just took stories that had romantic elements and then briefly recorded what I remembered about them. Shall we start with the things that have overlaps, Jay?
Yeah, which is like one show.
It's like one thing. I guess there's
I think it's
thematic overlaps too, but like,
there are thematic overlaps, of
uh,
course.
the one romance thing that Jay watched, I've read. Going through this, Jay, I realized that I don't think I've watched anything that has romance in it. I've only read manga with romance in it.
I'm currently trying to do that. It's not.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
you
know.
started to read Ayaharu Ride, right?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's weird.
Do you like
Reading
it more or less than the show?
less, absolutely less. It's
Bruh.
weird, but for the record, I watched this show between 11 p.m. yesterday and 2 p.m. today.
That's
Um,
quite a
and so
binge.
going straight from that into like a manga was a little bit weird, and I didn't feel like reading the first 14 chapters of the manga.
No, Jay, you gotta. Come
Dude, I just
on.
watched the show. In literally dude, it literally took me like
Ugh.
15 hours to watch the show. Most of that was sleeping.
I
So,
always, if I, well, I guess I'd never, I rarely ever do anime to manga, but manga to anime. I always go back and start from the beginning. Oh, so
I don't have the patience. If I was
I
doing
don't
it in
know.
like a few weeks, I may start from the beginning. But I
I like to
skimmed.
compare, and especially when I'm going like anime to manga, because I generally prefer manga. But I don't know. I like to see the differences and what has been changed. What's been because a lot of things, the flow of reading a comic is obviously different. It's just fun to see how they've adapted certain moments that can only really be captured in comic form, and how they've tried
Yeah.
to reimagine it now in in animation.
I mean, I skimmed through chapter 14 of the manga, and it felt like a pretty shot for shot version of episode 12 of the anime.
Mm,
Um,
it is funny when you can recognize like things are shot for shot. I
I knew
recently,
exactly what
like
was
a
going
week
on the
ago,
entire time.
I I read a manga called Yokohama Shopping Log, and I started to watch an episode of the adaptation because there's only two. There was just a short OVA, um, And it was funny just the amount of shots that I could remember in this episode that were just exactly what the panel was in the manga. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it's the same thing with, what's it called? Haru Ride, right?
mhm.
Uh,
I tend to like it when the adaptation is a bit more exciting with what they do in the changing of the visuals department.
well, honestly, if I haven't read the manga, I couldn't care less. I'll be 100%
Of
honest.
course.
You wanna know the source of this show? How I found out
Yeah.
about it? Oh, I told
Doof.
you about this earlier, but I was watching a YouTuber by the name of Jimmy Zhang. I don't particularly like
Jimmy.
his videos. He just goes out and asks, like, weird, horny questions to 20-somethings in New York City.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Now I remember you telling me about this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He I don't know, maybe he goes to NYU or something, or he's always on the NYU campus asking students or
Hmm.
something, I don't know.
I think it's just that people are around there.
Yeah, I think they're
Probably.
a
I
lot,
don't know.
and
I've
he
never
goes
watched
to
any of this guy's
Washington
videos,
Square
so.
or whatever, Washington Square Park or whatever they call it. Like, there's that one thing in Manhattan and whatever, and K Town or Chinatown or whatever it was. I don't remember. I was watching a video, and by the way, this was weird. Okay, so there was one video that caught my eye that said, "Is anime a turnoff?" I didn't really think about it like that. I thought that was strange. So I
I
watched it, and
suppose yes would be the normal answer.
I did not realize that, but I just assumed that it was pretty normal. And from the people he surveyed, which were largely 20 somethings, it didn't seem it was actually more in favor of anime than it was against.
Really? Wow, maybe
Um,
I am too pessimistic.
well, I think there are probably some stigmas around it, but I get the sense that a lot of people have watched big shows, but he could have done some editing magic. There were a lot of
That is
people who
true.
seemed indifferent, and stuff like that. Not that that was what I was talking about, but, um, so as a follow-up question, when he was specifically asking girls about guys. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Um, and he asked one girl, and she was like, "Yeah, I watch a lot." And he was like, "What is your favorite?" And she was like, "This show called Blue Spring Ride." And I was like, "Okay." She
Mm.
said, "It's just,"
Oh,
and I
that's
think her words were something like, "It's just your basic high school romance." And I dropped everything I was doing. I'm like, "Okay, time to put that on my anime list. That's the next show I'm watching." Uh, I think when I watched it, I wasn't done with Data Life. Data Life kind of sucked. I gotta be honest. It was like I gave it a 6. I gave it a 6. Uh, just as an idea of my feelings on that show, it was weird and not that great and very confused. Um,
the
and I
show
was
was
like, "This is the
confused,
next
or
show."
you were watching it.
The
Like it.
show was confused. The
Okay,
show
like it
had
didn't know
it
where
felt
it
like
was
the show didn't
going.
know what was going on.
Mm-hmm. I see. I
Um,
see.
yeah, there was some weird stuff in that show. I mean, I may touch on it later. When I say touch on it, I mean
Perhaps.
talk for 4 hours about it. But anyways,
Woo.
uh, to be in brief, I found out about uh, Blue Spring Ride through a YouTube video I clicked on an off chance, and it was very good, and I
Hmm.
was all over the place the whole time, everywhere. I was up and down, and probably like across town, and like in my house, and on the roof, all of the places, you know. Um, so that was.
The whole city. Jay was splattered, just everywhere.
I was all over the place. I was probably in like, I don't know, Berkeley, California too. I don't know. Um, see, I watched that show and I was like, isn't this weird? Like, why does every anime about romance have the same premise? Like, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, I
I don't
love
know if
it,
that's
but there's
totally true, but
okay,
like,
maybe it's
there's
not
like a
totally true.
million shows with the same exact sort of high school harem kind of deal.
I have watched
Rom
4
com
shows.
is like probably the most repetitive genre aside from like shonen action. Those two probably consistently have the most similarities between their shows from what I've experienced with them. But then of course there's plenty of outliers. You could list tons and tons of things that go against that if you wanted to. It's just that you know.
This is okay, yes, that's true, okay? But I have watched 4 shows. are they all rom-coms? Three of them are rom-coms, I guess. I don't know. Does Blue Spring Ride count? I don't think it's a
I don't
rom-com.
know. I've never watched it. Also, I had never heard the English name until now.
Our Howard Ride. That's probably better. I prefer that
I
anyway.
mean, I don't know.
But
Both sound good.
just for
I just had,
clarity's sake.
for some reason, I had
Uh,
always thought that it was just like, I don't know, character names or something, and it was just the English
uh,
title.
did you meet my boyfriend Blue Spring?
What?
You said you thought they were names, and so I was like, "Well, did you
Oh,
meet him?"
oh.
um,
Your jokes are too complex for me. I'm too stupid.
too big understanding. Um, so okay, I have watched 4 shows that have involved the summer festival, which is fine because I get it.
Mm.
Okay,
Summer Festival, yeah, no. Summer Festival, it's a good
so
location, though, I think.
many. It's fine, okay? So it was really good in Tonekaku Koi, and it was fun. See, it was the ending portion for that in Nozaki, right? And then
Uh,
like that
I
was
mean,
like the fun,
I don't
not
remember
like
it specifically in Nozaki.
not like the whole story. I'm just talking about the show.
I
What
know you're
was
just talking about the show. I just don't remember the scene at all.
yeah. What was the other show? Oh, Quintessential Quintuplets. It was not part of the ending. It was in
Hmm.
like literally the middle of the season or something, and it was in Our High Ride. All right. To be fair, the summer festival is in episodes 13 and 14 of the anime, which I've been told exists, but only from buying box sets.
Hmm.
Apparently,
Hmm.
allegedly.
That is
I
odd.
actually did find the entirety of episode 13 on a German Facebook page, but the audio
Woo.
quality hurt my ears, so I gave up. Uh,
Mm.
it wasn't. I could have dealt with it, but like the connection when you have great connection on like Crunchyroll or something, and then it like buffers. Like the video doesn't stop, but then your audio quality gets really bad and it gets a little grainy. It's like that, but for the entire episode. And so,
That does not sound good.
yeah, so I just gave up there, but I've read, I think, like presumably through that part in the manga, so through the whole
Hmm.
summer festival thing. But I do find it's a fine location, but it's in everything, and in 3 of those shows, it's a little weird sometimes, because it's like, wait, this is kind of basically the same show. So in 3 of 4 of those shows, the male lead is a stoic, tall, strong guy with black hair, mind you.
Mm.
Um, so weird, maybe.
The most common lead in like anime rom-coms is the generic self-insert boring design guy who's like every harem anime has him.
Well, okay, so in Data Live, I guess that rings true. Like Shido is just,
I mean, it seems like it is in quintuplets.
no,
The
it
dude,
isn't though. The whole point of the show is that he's like this really straight-laced guy that wants nothing to do with their personal lives, but they eventually convince him.
I mean, I haven't watched it. I just always assumed that was the sort of thing it went with, because quintuplets is kind of the new like biggest harem thing.
Um oh, well, yeah. Okay, also the terms of who is on limits for relationships, anime doesn't really hasn't really figured that out. Uh
Yeah, you can probably find like a romance show with any sort of pairing you could wish
and
for in it, whether that's good or
I don't
bad.
know. Okay, so like I know I've talked about Citrus, and I know people like don't like that show. Um,
Hmm.
like I've said before, it is the worst rated show, like worst cumulatively rated show on my that I've watched. On specifically on Mal. Um, which
The
which is
Mal.
a feat to be well, given that I liked it so much, it's a feat to behold. You know.
Hmm. I mean, it's not like user reviews have to deal with your enjoyment of something.
No, they
So.
don't. But I get the sense that people were not so open to the idea of that show, and I
No, people.
understand why, because it's weird, and it's uncomfortable, like right from the get go. But I really liked it, so you should listen to me. As we said, maybe before the recording started, I am never wrong. Yeah, was it before? Was it before the recording started?
uh, Jay, I don't
No, you
remember.
need to have conclusive evidence and knowing. You have to knowing.
I'm gonna use my all-seeing eye. I think it was before the recording.
You are definitely all seeing.
So Jay, what would you say then is your favorite romance anime?
That this show I just watched was,
Oh, I Horror Ride.
oh my god, dude. I've never
Mmm.
had a show almost make me cry before between the hours of
Oh,
11 p.m. and 2 p.m. today.
having a strong emotional connection is
Well,
good
to be
with
fair
show.
though,
Having a good cry is always a good way
good, but
for
I didn't.
a
I
show to
I I
leave. I
didn't.
feel
I
like.
didn't though.
Oh.
Um, no show has brought me that close to that, and perhaps there is,
Mhm.
external reasons for that. I don't actually know now that I think about it, um, but like that doesn't usually happen. So there is something to be said about this. I was even more enthralled with this than I was with Citrus, um, which was something
Whoa.
that surprised me. So that was good. Um, and yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
Would Citrus have been your number one if not for Blue Spring Ride?
If we're talking full romance,
I mean, not necessarily full romance. Rom com counts as romance.
no, I
Just
mean,
like
but my
primary
favorite
genre
romantic
is like
relationships in any show are in Darling in the Franks.
the Frank. Okay.
The singular Frank.
Yeah, we're cutting it down. Too many
Darling,
Franks.
darling, darling in the Frank. More like darling is Frank. Oh my God, Frank, you my darling now. I think also a part of it is the animation in that show is pretty goddamn good.
Hmm.
So
Good
that
animation is nice.
that helped things too. Um, that show was also kind of like the first show I watched, like seriously.
Hmm.
So I guess it holds a special place in my heart or whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
Surrounding how I feel about character relationships and the like. So
Yeah, yeah. I guess relationships in like manga and anime I like. Uh, I like the relationship between the main two characters in the Voynich Hotel. In such like an odd and occasionally rather absurd manga, it's kind of nice how sort of normal feeling their romance is, even among like all these chaotic and strange things that go on. It kind of feels weird to call the romance normal with how odd the characters can be and the unique setting, but I'm more so speaking to the progression of the romance than anything else.
yeah,
They just kind of just feels somewhat natural, and they have like good chemistry, and I don't know. It's sweet, the conclusion. That final page is such a good one. I can't say anything about it, of course, but I think just the contrast between how wacky everything is always sells that for me. I like the sort of romantic aspects in Angel Densetsu, which is not really a romance at all, and neither is Voynich Hotel, but they just will occasionally have these sort of romantic moments. Angel Densetsu is just like all of the romantic moments really feel good. The premise of Angel Densetsu, Jay, is that there's this guy, his name is Kitano, he moves into a new town, and he and his family all have like horrifying faces, not necessarily ugly ones, but sort of monstrous, and like a they constantly they kind of look like a smooth Nosferatu, if you've ever seen Nosferatu.
I
It's
have
like,
not.
the original Dracula kind of
Oh,
from
okay, I see.
old Hollywood. Uh,
Gotcha.
and so everyone immediately like assumes that he's some sort of evil kind of it's about like judging and stereotypes and whatnot, primarily the series.
Yeah.
But like seeing him further his relationships with all the characters, but especially like his romantic one. I don't know, just the sort of growth in acceptance throughout the series is it's very good feeling. I don't know. Angel Densetsu is a good time. I like that manga a lot.
Yeah.
Other romance manga I like, Komi Can't Communicate is like the most wholesome thing in the world, but that's like I don't know, that's posted everywhere. Everyone knows about that. My Monster Secret is pretty funny. It's kind of neat to see a harem manga that has like the main couple's relationship be a large portion of the story. Like the latter half is all about that, and then sort of the way it's affected all of the other characters. It's not like the best series, but if you like harem, you'll probably like it.
I
Um,
don't know how I feel about harem. I gotta be honest.
if it's funny, I can stand it. But if it's like just straight like fantasy, like oh look at all these beautiful women
You
crawling
should
all
not.
over
You
me,
should not
is kind of
watch.
awful.
You should not watch Rent a Girlfriend, Villainous.
No, I mean I have no interest in watching that show
Oh
anyways.
my god, you don't want to watch just the best show ever.
The best show of
So
2020.
good. So good.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go through stuff that I've watched of note. I want to eat your pancreas. I'm bringing this one up because funny name.
Naturally. Funny
Uh,
funny monkey.
it's actually pretty good and rather sad series. There's also a movie that I hear is very good as well, but I've just read the manga. But it's about this girl with a terminal illness and this guy who's her classmate, and isn't really friends with her or anything. But he accidentally discovers that she has this illness and she's been keeping it a secret from everyone else. And through that, they sort of bond, and he doesn't really have any friends, and she has no one to speak to about this outside of her family. So they grow closely through this. And it's kind of a movie that it's, an emotional roller coaster kind of movie where it tosses you around. It's good, mainly bringing it up because the name is funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Love is Blind is this good one shot that Tatsuki Fujimoto, the guy who did Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch,
Yeah.
both those series names, don't be too judgmental about those. Both of them are pretty great, but it's a short one shot that ran a few years back about this one character who is he's very strong willed and very hard set on him confessing to this one girl that he really likes today. And he won't let anything stop him. And on his way to his confession, he constantly gets confronted and interrupted by increasingly absurd and important things, like there's an attempted mugging and an alien invasion at one point.
Jesus
But he
Christ.
doesn't let anything get in his way. He just
Anything to
keeps
stop the
pushing
confession.
through. Uh, and he finally gets there in the end. It's such a good feeling, and it's like I don't know, it's just a funny and good feeling one shot about how love trumps everything. Love triumphs over all. I don't know. I like really good feeling things when it comes to romance.
Yeah, I would say I
I
do
don't know.
too.
I've just been talking to myself basically for too long now, so I'm just gonna cut it short.
No, I mean don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean the good feeling stuff. I think that's why I liked our ride so much. I mean, like this, there were like not so subtle moments of coming closer together. Which I mean, you can't really have the most subtle stuff, but like there were a lot of really good moments that were like, oh my god, like oh that's good, that's very good. You feel? I was like, this is really
Mm-hmm.
exciting. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so that made me very happy. Um, but I mean, I liked your point about the Voynich Hotel and like the polarizing love story in comparison to like the rest of the show. I think that's kind of funny. I don't know that I have watched a show that. Well, I don't really know that much about the Voynich Hotel, but I don't know that I have
Voynich Hotel is this manga
or not
done by
watched. I
Doman
meant read. Yeah.
Seiman, who Doman Seiman has very little officially translated things into English. There's just How Many Light Years to Babylon and Voynich Hotel, both of which I like a good bit. But he often writes these sort of absurd and generally short stories. mostly known for doing one shots. That but I like his stuff a lot. He's kind of well known, but not like the most well known.
Huh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I've never personally heard of him, because I don't know anything, but we'll pretend. But yeah, I don't think I've ever like seen that polarizing kind of thing necessarily. So
It's
I
not.
do think
I don't know if it's polarizing, perhaps.
I think in nature we look at a normal relationship and think it's just normal, of course. Hence the word normal, because that's what smart people do with the word. Um,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, like the recent romance animes I've watched have not been good.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think I've watched or read anything especially recent besides like Kome Can't Communicate, which is huge now, but
I have watched 3 harem animes, and 2 of them have been my least favorite shows yet.
wait, which two? It's Data Live and
Date Alive
Rent.
and Rent a Girlfriend. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see the next season of Rent a Girlfriend, but also, am I? Uh, See, here's the
You
reason.
Jay have a lot more tolerance for continuing things you're a bit middling on or not big on.
Well, because I had a lot of dumb faith that Rent a Girlfriend was going to turn around. And so I saw something online that said if they continue the next season of Rent a Girlfriend in the same pattern, using the same amount of the manga that they used for the first season, the whole season is just going to be them not getting together again. That sounds
Hmm.
so stupid. Why would
If
I
you
want to
do
watch
you
that?
want me to give a spoiler? I know a
No, no,
spoiler.
no. I don't want a spoiler because I will watch it inevitably when it comes out
Okay.
like this fall season. I'll watch it in
Well,
a year, basically.
it would be a spoiler for after this season ends. What I have.
After the second season ends?
Yeah, it's some manga spoiler I've read online that
Nah, nah, nah. But here's my thing, man, is like, that is, I mean, come on.
that's yeah, that's the problem with a lot of like these rom coms and harem things is that or the main criticism pretty much everyone seems to have about them online is that they go forever with zero actual progression in the romance itself.
So they
Uh
were saying, I think the same thread was saying that they have enough content for 5 seasons
mm,
of Rent a Girlfriend.
really? Is Rent a Girlfriend going on for that long? How did huh.
Or maybe 4 seasons. I can't remember what it is. Like the
Man,
hotel,
that's surprising.
and only like the hotel. But like that's a lot, and I get the sense that it would take it would take until a minimum of a season 3, which would be very minimum of done by December of 2000, or not December. Well, if it yeah, like it'll be done by a minimum of like October 2023 before like I could read the manga. Do I have interest in going out of my way to read the manga? Not really, because I didn't particularly enjoy the show, but also I want to know what happened. What happens? I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't go and read the manga for that, but you can if you want, Jay.
It's probably not worth my time. So, but
Speaking of time, we have been going up for an hour and 14 minutes now. Should
that
we
is
even do
true.
Song of the Week or should we just end it here?
No, we got to keep our streak going, man.
Okay, okay. Uh,
We're on a
are you prepared to go or should I go first?
um. Well, I mean, yeah, I am prepared to go, but if you'd like to go,
Sure, I'll just
you
go
can
first.
go.
So my thing, continuing with the anime theme, since that's what we're doing, I picked a thing from the soundtrack of the short film Stink Bomb from the collection Memories, or the collection of short films, which I watched a few days ago, and I thought was pretty good. Although Stink Bomb, probably the worst one, had this one song that played a few times throughout it that I really liked called Nobuo's Groove. And it is a very groovy song indeed. It's like a minute long, or a minute and 40 seconds long. And I don't know, it's just a fun song to fit for a pretty goofy film. Yeah, that's that. Jay?
How did you rate the film?
I guess the whole collection, I'd probably give like an 8, but Stink Bomb specifically, probably like a 7, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it's like a fun watch, but not especially interesting or funny, and like leaves little
It's
impression.
fun, but it's not at all fun. You know,
No, it's like fun. It's like an entertaining thing to watch, but like you finish it and you're like, it kind of leaves minimal impression.
oh, I see, I
It's
see.
just kind of like there,
Yeah.
but like it
Um,
looks cool.
so I am just straight recommending an entire soundtrack. It's
Oh, a
11 minutes
whole
long.
soundtrack.
It's 11
Oh,
minutes
only
long.
11. Okay.
It's just a collection of outros from Darling in the Franxx, which I've been playing a game called How Much Pain Can I Inflict on Myself by listening to the same anime soundtrack over and over again. And so far, a good amount. Um,
Mm.
so that's been a game that I've been really enjoying. It's kind of like Rocket League, but sad. Um, so
I typically do not listen to soundtracks. How about you, Jay?
I never listen to soundtracks ever,
Hmm.
actually.
Yeah, occasionally I listen to like the original Hellsing soundtrack because that one's, I don't know, it's a really cool soundtrack. But even then, like I pick and choose specific songs.
I went out of my way to throw this in Audacity and throw a genre, year, artist, song title, and album on it, and
Oh,
add album
nice, Jay.
art in
That is
iTunes,
awesome.
so I could put it on my phone because obviously you can't download it because the CDs only came in the box collections of the anime.
Mm. I've thought about doing that with things before, never with a soundtrack, but that's
It
cool,
is
Jay.
something I would highly recommend. I don't know what the legalities around it are. Probably nothing crazy if you're not. There's probably nothing wrong with it if you're not spreading it, which obviously I'm not. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's
Yeah.
downloading from MP3s that technically put it up illegally anyway, so we're not going to question it. Um, yeah. So what I would call this is very success. And so I've
Yes.
been listening to that the whole time. I think there's a pretty general consensus on what um the best tracks are, that being Torikago, which is the first one, and Escape, which is the fifth. I also really like Manatsu no Setsuna, which is the second one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's in my opinion underrated, but tracks 1 and 5 seem to be people's favorites. In order, it's Torikago, Manatsu no Setsuna, Beautiful World, Hitori, Escape, and Darling. So there's one video. I just always search up, what is it? Darling in the Franks ending song. And it's the second video by Hero 2 Music called Darling in the
Mm-hmm.
Franks endings 1 through 6. Just listen to it. It'll make you happy or really sad, one or the other. Um,
It will be linked in the description,
yes,
as with
Vilnius will
everything
link it
we
in the
have talked
description,
about.
except it won't be on Spotify because no, I will. It will. If you're listening to
Someday.
this and if you're listening to this 7 years after, it may.
Yeah. I still
Because
haven't done the
once
show notes for the last episode. I've been too lazy.
you know what, Wellness, you know what I do? I just don't. I just don't do them. And you never. Did you know that if you don't do stuff, you never have to do stuff?
It's true, yeah.
I didn't know if you realized, but it's pretty cool. Um,
Speaking of not doing stuff, we should not be
we
doing this
should not.
podcast anymore.
Speaking of not doing stuff, we should not doing the podcast.
Yes. Okay.
All right,
Let's
let's not doing it.
let's end this. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed us rambling about anime again.
I don't even
So
know what this
exciting and
episode
new.
was about anymore. It had a theme
It
going
was
in, but I
romance.
think at the end,
It's the Valentine's Day special,
the
man.
Valentine's Day special, obviously served
Mm-hmm.
up.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Served up hot and fresh on February 19th, the Valentine's Day special.
Woo! And with that, we will bid you adieu.
Adieu.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Constitutional cancel culture, one might say.
I am the constitutional cancel culture. You ever think that about people?
I do. Ow, God, I just crushed my foot.